Hey guys, Chef Jason, your Ace Hardware grilling expert. If you've been thinking about getting into charcoal grilling and you've had a lot of questions, do not worry because today is my beginner's guide to charcoal grilling. I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know about that beautiful Weber kettle to get you into charcoal grilling so you can start creating some beautiful things in your backyard. All right, let's talk a little bit about kettle sizes. Two of the most popular sizes are the 22-inch Weber kettle, which is the most popular size. Going to be great if you're a first-time charcoal griller. It's going to give you a good amount of room. It's going to be great for a smaller family. It's going to allow you to do grilling, smoking, and all of that. That 22-inch is going to be a great size for that. Now, moving up, you'll get that 26-inch, and I'll tell you, that's going to be good for larger families, or maybe you need a grill that's bigger to cook more food for doing some entertaining. And it'll allows you to set up two different zones, right? A direct and an indirect, making it much easier too because you have a little bit more space in that 26-inch. Okay, so the first question I always have to answer is, what makes it different from gas? Obviously, flavor. The first decision you're gonna have to make is what flavor source you're gonna cook with. Are you gonna use those briquettes or are you going to use lump charcoal? I love that charcoal flavor. It's big, it's bold, it's deep, it's rich. You get that flavor of charcoal, the nuance of the wood. You get higher temperatures. I think you get better searing, more flavor, and incredible versatility. So let's dig in and talk about that first thing you're gonna have to decide. Which should I use, briquettes or lump? All right, now key differences. From the briquette side, you're gonna get consistency, right? Even, consistent burn, a lot more predictable. On the heat, you're gonna get lump charcoal burning hotter. This is gonna burn steadier, but lump charcoal is gonna burn much, much hotter. When it comes to burn time, man, I'll tell you, I give lump charcoal the advantage because of those small, medium, and large pieces. There is a little bit of work you have to put into briquettes to make them burn longer, but I'll tell you, I think the winner is gonna be that lump. Flavor, definitely lump is the winner because it's going to give you that more natural wood-fired flavor on here. And then ease of use. If you're a beginner, briquettes are going to be the easiest, consistent product to get you up and running charcoal cooking, and then time to move into the lump when you're looking for some more fun. Okay, let's talk a little bit about some of the components of the kettle. As you can see, we've got the heat adjustment here, right? So this is gonna be closed, X. That's gonna be low heat, meaning that vents open a tiny bit. That's gonna be high heat, meaning it's open all the way. And then this is also used for something else we'll show you in a minute. But the bottom vent, this is what I call the gas pedal, because the gas is going to be the air flowing up. So less gas, more gas. So the bottom, let's talk about the bottom vents as your gas pedal. All right, here we are at that top dampener. Now, if I look at this, I also know that this is a great way to control airflow out, or as I like to call it, the brake. I called the bottom the gas pedal that allowed the air to flow up and in. This is going to allow the air to flow out. So obviously a lot of air exchange, nice hot flame. Less air exchange, maybe I'm doing a lot lower and slower. So I'm gonna use this top vent to control heat, but guess what? I'm gonna use the top and the bottom to control everything together as one, keeping my temperature nice and consistent. All right, here we are at your cooking grate. Now, some of these grates are going to be different. Some are just going to be fixed as they are, and some will have a hinged flap on the side that allows you access to maybe add more charcoal or more chips and chunks to add some flavor. Now, if we take the grill grate out, we are right down into the heart of the grill, and this is your charcoal grate where all of that charcoal is going to sit. And the cool thing about this, we'll talk about it when we go outside to light it, is I can now also set up different zones just by moving maybe charcoal to one side, creating my hot zone and my cool zone, or all in one, creating that nice even zone. Now, as we dig inside, let's talk a little bit about what all of that means down there. Now, remember that handle we had down below that we were using to control the heat? Well, it controls those fins right there. That gives you less or more open space. However, so dual purpose here, right? That's going to be your low, medium, and high setting. And then this is going to be used also to get some of that ash moved out. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get this started, but first, look down here at that vent. You can see wide open, fully closed. I like that lower vent to be about halfway, right? Or half the gas pedal, right? I wanna give it just enough gas to keep it running once I get it started. So we'll go ahead and leave it half open or half closed, and we'll add the grate. Now let's add our charcoal. Now, I told you I like burning that lump charcoal, so I'm going to show you how to get this started really quick. And I have it loaded with lump. Now, like I said, if you want to do dual zone, maybe on a larger kettle, move all that charcoal to one side. You've got a hot side and a cool side. I'm doing a standard cook, so everything's going right in the center. And now I'm going to start it using a tumbleweed. So we'll get the tumbleweed started. We'll keep all that charcoal right in the center and get everything ready to rock and roll here in just a minute. All right, the tumbleweed is started. Now I'm gonna give this 5 minutes just like this. I've got the bottom set about half open. I'm gonna leave the dome off this. I want about 5 minutes to get that built up in there and build a really beautiful ember pile to get this charcoal started. So we'll come back after 5 minutes and I'll show you what we're gonna do next. Okay, we are sitting right at 5 minutes. Now you see you're starting to get a little bit more white smoke. That fire is kind of like on or off. It is starting to slowly burn itself in better. So we'll go ahead after 5 minutes and put the grate on. Then we'll go ahead and cover it. And now we'll start our first set of adjustments. After ignition, we've got the dome on. Now we leave the bottom where it is right now. We've got it halfway open. That is perfect. This is a gas pedal, right? Allowing air to flow in and up. Let's head up top and check out what we do with the brake. We've got it started. We've got the bottom gas pedal right where we want it. Now we're adjusting the brake. Think of it this way. Less brake, wide open, hot and fast. That's going to be great for direct cooking if I'm grilling a steak. Now all of a sudden I want to adjust it down. I want less gas. I want more brake, which means it is time to go a little bit lower and slower, right? I'm letting less airflow work its way through. That's going to be great for indirect cooking. Maybe I'm doing turkeys or chickens. So hot and fast, wide open, adjusted down, low and slow, indirect. Very cool. All right, well, all good cooking adventures come to an end. Now when it's time to shut it off, super easy, right? We're gonna close the top, apply 100% brake. We're gonna head down to the bottom and shut off the gas, 0% gas, 100% brake. This will cool down, leave it alone. Let it cool, may take an hour or two, but once it is cool, then it's time to do a little bit of cleaning and care and maintenance, because care and maintenance goes a long way. All right, when it comes to cleaning, first thing I'm gonna do when this is 100% cooled off, I'm gonna remove that charcoal grate and I'm gonna make sure that all of my ash gets down into the ash pan. And I will even take a rag and just kind of wipe everything out, because you know what? I'm doing a quick little clean. I might as well get all that ash down into the ash catcher or the ash pan. Then I'll put that charcoal grate back in and the cooking grate back in, and let's head down below and talk about what to do with all that ash. Okay, now that the ash is down into the ash catcher, the ash pan, one of the things I want to do is get rid of that. It's so important to keep this emptied out. I like to check it every 1 to 2 cooks to make sure it's emptied out, because if this starts to get too full and gets up into the airflow, now all of a sudden you don't have enough air moving through your grill, and this can definitely become an issue. So we'll get that carefully poured out. Always make sure this is cold before you get rid of those charcoal pieces anywhere. Then load it back in, you are good to go. Yeah, then if I get any on the ground or my patio, easy clean too with the Eagle. Well, now that you understand the basics of charcoal grilling and how the kettle works, it's time to head out and grab one. But then I know what you're thinking. I'm going to need some different ways to start my kettle. Well, stay tuned, because coming up my next video, we're going to show you how to grab that charcoal, how to get it started and up and running. And that video coming up next.